Good evening, I'm Dan Fanning. What a sports year it's been across the Low Country and Palmetto State here in 2024. Let's begin our countdown to the top stories of the year with 10 through 6. After Mark Kingston wasn't retained as the head baseball coach at South Carolina, AD Ray Tanner made a splash hire, bringing former national champion winning head coach Paul Mainieri out of retirement. Mainieri keeping former Coug player and head coach Monty Lee on staff. Tanner would then announce his retirement as director of athletics in the fall. Before he will leave the club to play for CD Castellón in Spain, Battery forward Nick Marcanic made league and team history in 2024. His 28 goals scored this season broke the USL championship record of 26 and the Battery team record of 27 set by Paul Conway in 2001.
Whatever happened, but I'm happy to, break records. It's always awesome, but it would feel a lot better if we got the win, but it's still something to be accomplished. Happy for, so.
At number 8, the Elite 8. After falling in their first game in the ACC tourney, the Clemson men rebounded to reach the national quarterfinals, first time since 1980 in a magical postseason run led by P.J. Hall and Chase Hunter. Brad Brownell's club came into the tourney as a 6 seed and proceeded to upset 3-seeded Baylor and 2-seeded Arizona. One school had to wait 7 decades, the other a calendar year. For the first time in school history, Pinewood Prep claimed a state title in football, holding on to beat Wilson Hall in the Skeeza 3A state championship. Head coach Devontae Holloman delivering Pinewood the title in just his second year in charge.
That means a lot. You see the crowd, you see the support that we've had all season. These players worked hard. The Pinewood family has worked hard for a long time and glad to finally bring one home. And we'll enjoy this one and get ready to try to do it again next year.
After head coach Chad Wilkes' abrupt departure at the beginning of the season, Oceanside rallied around interim coach John Patterson and each other to claim a back-to-back state title this year in 3A. As QB Aiden Manavian lived up to his Twitter handle as Big Play Manavian, threw for 4 touchdowns in OCA state title win against BHP.
The Miami Marlins select P.J. Morlando, an outfielder from Somerville High School, Somerville, South Carolina.
The Low Country, especially Somerville High School, was well represented in July's MLB draft. Native Floridian slugger P.J. Morlando was selected 16th overall by the Miami Marlins, becoming the first-round pick from the Low Country since Justin Smoke in 2008.
I'm going to be real with you. I think I kind of blanked out. This is, again, a dream come true. I mean, I've stayed up nights where recently, I'll wake up and I start crying because it's such a whirlwind of emotions. This is what every kid dreams of. I'm fortunate enough that God gave me this opportunity to go out there and compete, do what I love at a high level, and now it's going to be a job, and now it's just the start of my next journey.
More history was made in this year's draft as brothers Cole and Carson Messina became just the 5th pair of brothers to ever be selected in the same draft. Cole was drafted in the 3rd round by the Rockies, Carson foregoing his commitment to USC, signing with the Blue Jays in the 12th round. Somerville would not be alone as former Hanahan hurler Trey Poozer was drafted by Tampa Bay in the 10th round after a stellar season at Kentucky. Now it's the time to look at our top sports stories with 5 through 1. 2024 was a banner year for Charleston's Emma Navarro. Emma began the year by winning her first singles title at the Hobart International and parlayed that into her best finishes at all 4 majors in her very short career, including impressive runs at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open, reaching the quarters at the All-England and Tennis Club and semis in her native New York. Navarro also represented the U.S. in the Summer Games in Paris, finishing the year ranked the 8th best player in the world.
I feel confident in how much work I've put in and that the work I put in alongside my coach and my physio and the team around me, I feel confident that it's productive and that we're always moving in a positive direction.
The U.S. Open saw the end to Shelby Rogers' career as the Mount Pleasant native announced her retirement. The town of Mount P recognizing Shelby for her contributions to the sport by giving her a key to the city in November. For a second straight season, CFC does the Charleston and the nation's capital, winning the CAA tournament title in dramatic fashion over Stony Brook. The Cougs are sent out west to Spokane, Washington to take on Alabama in the first round. After falling to the Crimson Tide, head coach Pat Kelsey leaves to take over in Louisville. In his place, his childhood friend and, as luck would have it, former Louisville head coach Chris Mack is named his replacement on George Street.
I think when we have our teams rolling at a high level, every possession is competitive. Every possession is nasty. You know, we want to be a team that other teams don't want to play. A team that, like, when the chips are down, we don't fold. We continue to play.
Along with Navarro, Raven Saunders, and Jasmine Camacho Quinn, Georgetown's Melissa Jefferson also competes in the Summer Games in Paris. After winning bronze in the 100 meters, Melissa claims gold on the 4x100 relay team, a monumental achievement for Georgetown and Coastal Carolina, as the Chanticleer alum is honored by the town with her own parade down Front Street.
I've been in a lot of parades on Front Street from the time I was 5 years old up until I left to go to Coastal. And for the first time, I was in a parade and it was all about me. Like, all of these people came out to celebrate me, and that's like mind-blowing to me.
After starting the season 3-3 after a road loss to Alabama, enough was enough for South Carolina as they rattled off 6 victories in a row to end the season, including 4 top 25 wins. The last one coming in Death Valley as La Savior scored the game winner with just over a minute to go, and the defense preserving state bragging rights over Clemson.
To overcome some of the stuff that we had to overcome, so much of it self-inflicted, and to just find a way to win at the end is really, really special. We talked before we came over here that we needed to have each other's backs, that, you know, offense pick up the defense when something happens, defense pick up the offense, both of them pick up special teams, and we had a lot of that today.
All was not lost, though, for the Tigers. Thanks to a Miami loss later that day, Clemson got into the ACC Championship, where they proceeded to knock off SMU thanks to a game-winning 56-yard field goal by Nolan Hooser as time expired in Charlotte. With the win, Clemson earned a bid into the new 12-team college football playoff. What started in Paris ended with confetti falling in Cleveland, Ohio. At number 1, the only thing missing in the South Carolina women's loss column last season, the USC women finished the year undefeated, winning their 3rd national championship in school history, getting some sweet revenge over Caitlin Clark in Iowa in the national title game.
These players were talking, and they used some choice words, and we give them their space. We're in the coach's locker room, and they're saying, we're going to do this to them, we're going to do that to them, we're going to do this to them, we're going to do that to them, right? Meanwhile, the coaches are in the locker room, and we're like, either we're going to get blown out or we're going to blow them out.
As great as 2024 was across the Lowcountry and Palmetto State, can't wait to see what 2025 has in store. For now in the studio, Dan Fanning, News 2 Sports.